Good morning. I'm Darrell Steinberg. I'm President Pro Tem of the California Senate, and I have the great honor of representing Sacramento in the state Senate. We're here today to celebrate PG&E's generous donation to the Red Cross and to this disaster preparedness plan in Sacramento. And I suppose I can sum it up simply by saying what I think most people say in life: it won't happen to me. It's simply human nature for us to say that. Most of us don't want to think about or can't imagine ourselves being the victims of a natural disaster. But with all of the beauty of our great state in the Sacramento region, it's unparalleled. Our quality of life does not come without real risks. It's hard to imagine it on a bright and sunny day like today, but our Sacramento region continues to be one of the most hazardous areas of the country when it comes to flood risk. And where we stand today, of course, can be the epicenter. We're known as the River City for very good reason. The North State has suffered through 5 floods, major floods, over the past 5 decades. And certainly those of us who have lived in Sacramento for some years remember 1986 and 1987. The event here today is a reminder that we have to be prepared, not panic, not be overwrought, love where we live, but be prepared. And next week, our state is holding its first annual Flood Preparedness Week. In the United States, more people die of flooding than any other natural disaster. And it's not just floods here in California. We also know that the Sacramento Valley is part of earthquake country as well. And as we celebrate the Giants and the A's staying alive in the playoffs, we can't help forget 1989, the Bay Bridge series, October 17th, 1989, and the earthquake that shook the Bay Area. And I was in Sacramento and also shook Sacramento as well. So if you're watching this or you are participating in Sacramento's disaster preparedness programs, you have to think about this. If you suddenly have to evacuate your home in 10 or 15 minutes, what would you take? If you're at work and your family members are at home or at school, how would you find them? If you're trapped at home, how long can you survive without power, without running water, and with only the food and drinking water you have on hand? Education is the key. Every Sacramentan should have the answer to these questions. I want to thank PG&E and the Red Cross for their efforts to help fund disaster preparedness and to help educate the public that, yes, this is a real threat, but at the same time there are common sense measures that we can all take that will help save lives and keep people safe. This is a great example of an ongoing collaboration between business and our community to make our region a better and safer place to live. And I'm glad to join you here today to promote this very important cause. It's my pleasure now to introduce Don Lindblom from the Capital Region chapter of the American Red Cross. Don? You're welcome.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Well, I'm Dawn Lindblom, the Chief Executive Officer of the American Red Cross Capital Region Chapter. And what you may not know is that our local chapter responds to some sort of disaster on average every 17 hours. Now, many of these disasters tend to be single-family house fires, but it also includes the bigger events such as earthquakes, wildfires, or floods, just as Senator Steinberg mentioned earlier. For those of us in Northern and Central California, disaster readiness is critical, as the potential for a catastrophic event is very real, like the potential of our fragile levee system being compromised due to extreme rainfall or snowmelt, and potentially all occurring simultaneously very quickly. We've witnessed firsthand throughout our history that the more prepared families and businesses are for disasters, the more quickly they will recover and get back to what life was like before the disaster. That's why we're so excited to expand our readiness campaign aimed at educating some of our region's most vulnerable populations about the importance of being prepared for disasters. Capital Region Ready is an innovative multi-year program designed to transform communities throughout Northern and Central California into models of disaster readiness by equipping individuals with training, resources, and networks necessary to effectively prevent, prepare for, and respond to emergencies and disasters. Getting ready for a disaster involves a few simple steps. Build a disaster kit for at home and at work, just like the kits that we have here to our left. Make an emergency plan with your family so that everyone knows what to do and how to connect. And be informed about the risks and types of disasters likely in your area. And lastly, get trained in life-saving skills like first aid and CPR. All of these are very easy steps, and that will help you to be ready for the next disaster or emergency. Our readiness campaign, of course, wouldn't be possible without the amazing, generous support of our corporate partner, Pacific Gas and Electric Company. For the second year in a row, PG&E has pledged $200,000 to continue this preparedness campaign throughout our 11-county area. That includes Stockton, Modesto, Sacramento, Woodland, Sonora, and Tahoe. We're so very thankful for their support, and we look forward to working together. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ed Bidwell, Vice President of Government Relations at PG&E.
Thanks, Don. Thank you. Good morning on behalf of the 21,000, and I will say it is 21,000, Darrell. It's up from 20,000 a few years ago, so we're adding jobs in California.
Good, yes, we are.
So on behalf of the 21,000 men and women of Pacific Gas and Electric who serve this state from Bakersfield in the south almost to the Oregon border, it is my honor to be here with Senator Steinberg and the Red Cross today to commit to this continued campaign of preparedness. And I just want to point out, as Senator Steinberg has said, we take it for granted in California. We're here on a beautiful day. Fishermen are pulling salmon out of the Sacramento River. We don't think that disaster can strike, but it can happen at any time, and we do need to be completely prepared. This vehicle behind us is an indication of how seriously we take public safety. It is a mobile command vehicle that we can dispatch to the site of an emergency. Whether it's a PG&E emergency or not, we do have mutual aid with other entities. So emergency preparedness is critical. And I want to take just a moment to recognize Senator Steinberg, who in his role as pro tem carries on, but in the Assembly and when he was in the City Council, has worked diligently for flood protection for the Sacramento Valley. Our levees, we've been told, are vulnerable. They've been improved through the U.S. Corps of Engineers, through FEMA's assistance and so forth. But Darrell, thank you for your efforts over the years to protect Sacramento from flood danger. Public safety is paramount. That's why we're here, why we're happy to support this. And there's no sense me talking any longer. We came to show the money. So Don and Darrell, if you join me up front, we'll present a little token of support to the American Red Cross Sacramento area. And Darrell, if you'll grab one side, Don, you grab the middle. Here's the check.
Thank you.
Right.
This is great.
Very good.